Call the meeting to order. Welcome those of you who are here. I have to add an agenda item. That would be number 6A1, approved graduates. I suppose they would appreciate that. I think that's the only item we have to add. So, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Motion second to approve the agenda. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Let's go right on and look at the consent items. Plenty of prior meeting minutes to look at.
If you want to look at board bills, on that very first page, start up at the top, AP college exam. The district pays for students who take AP courses and then take the exam, and then we request reimbursement from the Department of Education, so it's actually paid for. And I just wouldn't want you to think that we're paying for every kid who gets ready to take an ACT test or something like that, but we pay for it and then we request reimbursement from the Department of Ed. Allers Law Firm professional services for $152 was a couple of teacher questions that we had related to some issues, and then as well as some expense with the new superintendent being hired. Carroll Community School District is the third quarter, 18 students that are open enrolled out, as well as 7 homeschool students that live in the Wallake-Auburn district that are open enrolled to Carroll. Des Moines Register shows publication for teacher ads. And I don't know if you ever look at the ads in Des Moines Register on Sunday, but we re-advertised for the English position. I'll talk to you about that a little later. But we re-advertised for one of the English positions, as well as half-time special ed teacher at Stock Elementary. Iowa Central Community College with course billing. With the second semester, it was $10,850.88. 185 students. That wasn't 185 different students, so some of those could be taking more than one course. But 185 kids were taking 63 different credits. Not 63 courses, but 63 credits this semester. Ken Store Services was some work at the Lakeview and Wallake buildings. WLBA hot lunch, the guest ticket, the guests that we have with it were during the DE visit. You don't see that on there very often, but down under Manson, Northwest Webster, we still have no resolution with Rattlers about transportation. And that bill for $10,524.40 contains within it $3,680.43 of transportation. My recommendation to the Wallake-Auburn board is that they approved $6844.04, which is the tuition cost. The student who, this tuition is for the end of one student being there, and then another student currently from Wallake-Auburn that's there. The first student ended up in a shelter in Fort Dodge, so we were paying like $3.50 a day toward the end of his stay there. And the current student, we have our own driver who drives him over in the morning to Southern Cal, and he hops in a van and Southern Cal kids. And they transport in the morning, and then our driver goes over to Manson at the end of the day and picks up the Wallake-Auburn student and the Southern Cal kids. So we're splitting that cost. So right now we're paying Rattlers the last bill for this school year should have only have transportation, because we're not going to pay this, but it will be primarily a tuition cost. So that would be a change in the bills that I would ask you to make. On the back side, Odebolt Arthur open enrollment are 6 kids for third quarter. Prairie Lakes AEA are the charges for the reorganization costs for printing and for legal fees for the attorney that the AEA used for the reorganization. Rice Eagles Iowa School Finance is $655.75, and that's for both districts. So that's the fee that we pay to use his finance services. Sioux City Schools, special ed, 1 student for 35 days, another student that was placed in a shelter, actually boys and girls home in Sioux City, but is now back in our district. And Southern Cal Schools, 5 kids for 1 quarter, open and rolled out. Iowa Workforce Development is unemployment for one of the teachers that were reduced last year. Decker Equipment under petitions for PEPL are the petitions for the bathrooms in the Wall Lake. Remember, we're renovating those bathrooms up on Second, well, not really renovating, putting the new petitions and stools in. And under loss, Schenkelberg Implement is a 5-foot core aerator. Custodial staff bought. The Snyder and Associates is the work that they did for us on the plans that were submitted to the fire marshal for the renovation of the FCS room. And that might be the end of what we have them do some work for us on the Snyder Industrial Tech Hall out at the Ag building, maybe? Or that building? Right room? The former Ag building. You have questions about any other of those?
The Prairie Lakes, is that just our portion, or is that both schools' portions?
That'll be a shared expense. Yep.
Otherwise, I thought Prairie Lakes.
That's better. That's better.
The course billing from Iowa Central, you said it was 185 kids for 63 hours.
Well, there were 63 different credits that kids could take. So if you take all the courses that we offer and the number of credits, so there's like 23 credit courses, and there's like 18 3-credit courses and a couple of 2-credit courses. And the 185 kids, some of those kids are duplicates.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how we're built, is by the credit and by the number of kids by course. And so I just added those up, and there's probably a better way to do that.
I understand it now.
So in our juniors and seniors primarily, those kids would be double counted, but if you took 140 kids in the juniors and seniors, and probably 60% of those, 70% of those take college credit classes. Then you start to see how many courses each of those kids take. So they take several courses each semester.
Okay.
But mostly that's to help you understand what the billing fee looks like.
That Carroll Community Schools,
Yeah.
open enrollment,
Yeah.
that's not to Kepler,
No. No, that's Carroll Public.
and there's 25 kids, you said?
Well, there are 18 kids that actually attend that school, and there are 7 of them that are homeschooled. And I think what they go to Kemper for is, or what they go to Carroll Public for is orchestra.
Are these kids that close to Carroll? Or?
They live in Auburn. The homeschool kids are, well, all of these are Auburn kids. Yeah, but maybe South Wall Lake, but I don't know there's anyone from Lakeview that goes to Carroll Public.
Maybe too many more kids in Auburn to go to school. In there? I know it's not very nice, but
They've got a rural area too, of course.